Welcome back to Krafting the Craft with me, Ori's Oasis, and today we're making my Ori Baby Christmas tree topper. And the best thing about it is that it's an Ori Baby. So of course if you make your own, you can stuff it with peace, prosperity, and all the blessings you can think of. Let's get started. Draw out your dowel. This is a 14-inch dowel. I drew it on some styrofoam board because that's all that I had. And yeah, once you cut it out, you're going to trace it on top of fabric. And you're going to make two of them, one for the back and one for the front, as you see as I've done here. So once you cut the dowel out, you want to place the dowel, what you want the outside to show, because you're going to turn it out inside out, and you're going to sew it. You're going to leave an opening around in between the legs. Also, when you're stuffing this dowel, make sure you're putting your prosperity herbs, your prosperity crystals. Those are the things that really make the dowel, bring the dowel to life. So don't forget that. So I left a little bit more opening with part of the leg open because I just needed to get the stuffing in there, and that opening was too small. I'm going to close the leg, but also I cut a steward stick to the body of the doll just to give the neck extra support so it's not flopping back and forth. Okay, so here you can see I've closed the doll. The stick is in there, which gave the neck extra support. However, I decided to add a little bit more material. There is still a hole in the bottom of the doll to get so it can get on the tree or get on the holder that be on top of the tree. But I added some extra material just because I didn't like the way it looked. But there's still a hole down there so that the top of the tree can actually stick in the doll so that the doll don't move back and forth or forth and back and forth or whatever. So now it's time to decorate the doll, and as you see, I've sped this part up. You can decorate your doll any way you want. Feel free to skip towards the end. You don't have to watch this. I know how I get sometimes. Or feel free to skip towards the end and then come back and watch this. But yeah, all I'm doing is decorating the doll, and I'm not exactly a clothes maker. I mean, I have a hand in it somewhat, but I'm used to making my Ori babies, and you know they're smaller. So with my Ori babies, I always use ribbon. So I said, you know what? This is an Ori baby Christmas topper, so I might as well go with what I know and use ribbon in conjunction with some other materials, but mostly use ribbon, at least for the doll's main outfit. And then I use more material when I go to make, or regular material when I go to make the coat. And yes, I'm using a hot glue gun. Ain't nobody got time to be sewing. That take too long. Nerp. Again, if you know how to sew, go for what you know. This is my Ori baby, and my Ori babies are known for having their outfits made out of ribbon. So just because this is a bigger one, a taller one, I still decided to go with ribbon because that's what I'm comfortable with using. However, I want to talk about, um, when crafting and how we mess up sometimes and how we get frustrated and start over. Or just throw it away. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say start over. Keep going with it. There are plenty of imperfections on this dial. And as you can see, I'm just using more ribbon to cover it up. The imperfections bring beauty. The imperfections give you a chance to decorate life your way. And it gives you a chance to control with the hands you've been dealt. So go with it. As long as you're changing and growing, then you are perfect, according to the etymology of the word. Not the current dictionary use of the word, but the etymology of the origin of the word of where it came from. Just like this doll, it came imperfect. However, I keep saying doll. It is a freaking Ori baby. Ori baby. Ori baby. But, yeah, just like this Ori baby, it has imperfections. But with the imperfections, I'm able to put my own spin on it and to not necessarily cover it up, but kind of give it more glory, give it a little more detail, give it a little more soul. And I love how, it seems like the imperfection seems like a mistake, but in actuality, as your Ori baby starts talking to you, or as your top or Christmas tree topper starts talking to you, you'll feel what needs to go where and why things happen a certain way. It happened this way, so you would pay more attention to that area and give that area a little more detail. And trust me, in the end, it'll come out fabulous. So here I'm just using a little bit of tool to like kind of bunch it up, to not necessarily make a bow, but to, how those shirts have them, like, what is it, lapels or flips or whatever, like, whatever. You see what I'm trying to do. However, I do want to point out that I know most tree toppers normally have a skirt. This one is not going to have a skirt because I'm pretty much the only female in this house. So, they insisted on it being mill-like or mill-esque. So I didn't mind. I went with it. And one of my sons definitely wanted a bow tie, so I did my own interpretation of a bow tie on it. So this is another way that you could do it, which is the reason why part of the hole in the bottom of the dowel is so important, because it won't have a whole skirt. So you want to be able to put on the tree without it looking crazy. But yeah. Okay, first of all, I promise y'all I did not burn myself with the hot glue gun. I have been working with it for a while. Please do not do what I do. It was near my nail and actually near my finger. It still was a little warm though, but I promise you, I was not burning myself. I waited till cool. The video was sped up. I waited till cool a little bit, and then I tapped it. Okay, here right now is where I start to make the actual coat. And I'm sorry I don't have much of footage of this. And then while I was doing it, it started to get dark. And then the boys were walking by because, as you can see, I'm doing this on the floor of my living room. The boys were walking by, casting shadows and stuff. So from my view of the screen, it did not look this bright. So after a certain point, I just stopped videotaping. And yeah, after a certain point, I just stopped videotaping and said I'll just show y'all the end result in the morning because I wanted it done that night. But again, I apologize that I do not have the rest of the footage because it didn't look this bright when I was recording. So yeah, here I'm making a coat, and as you can see, I cut out a piece of fabric, and now I'm just measuring it to make sure it overlaps. And I'm actually cutting out where the coat should actually overlap, where I want it to overlap my dial. And I'm doing it like this because I want it in 3 pieces. So I want the mid body part. I want it tail, because again, I want the coat to have it, so I want it to be a full skirt. And I'm gonna add a hood to it. I also do end up adding lining inside of the actual jacket and on the inside of the tail of the coat, but not the actual hood. I don't think I have footage of the hood at all, so I think that's one of the last things that I did, so I apologize for that. But yeah, right now all I did was cut the square, and I marked off where the arms are going to go, but I'm not going to cut the hole just yet because the way the fabric is, it'll like just start shredding if I cut the hole too soon, and I still haven't made the sleeves yet. And right now I'm just gluing down the edges to stop the seam from unraveling. Also, when you're using a hot glue gun to do this, please know that no matter what fabric you work with, it's going to get stiffer. When you decide to use hot glue instead of using or just sewing it yourself, the fabric's going to be stiffer, so you have to be a little more gentle with working with it. It's going to be a little bit harder to work with, just so you know. So here I'm making the sleeve, and as you see, I'm pretty much eyeballing this whole thing. You could go from patterns, which if you're, that detailed, go for pattern, go ahead and make a pattern. I didn't feel like making patterns because to me, patterns don't work for every single fabric. You have to do a different pattern for different fabrics. Some fabrics, when you use hot glue, you have a little bit leeway. A fabric like this, I need a little more extra room because it gets stiff and I can't trim the edges or the fabric coming apart because it is hot glue. So I pretty much eyeball it, everything I do. So yeah, now I'm just making the sleeve, and you can see how I'm putting the extra details on the sleeve before. And then I'm going to close the sleeve, and then I don't believe it shows me putting the sleeve on the actual doll. But yeah, I do that. And if you notice, I made the sleeve a little bit longer than the doll's arm. That's because I have to pull it through the jacket. And then once I pull it through the jacket, I have to attach it to the jacket. Again, I'm not sewing this, so with hot glue, I'm going to need a little bit more fabric to make sure that everything's attached and to make sure certain areas don't unravel. And right here, I'm just showing you how I turn the sleeve inside out. Trying my best not to pull the fabric. So here I've already did the tail of the coat, and I've already attached it. Now I'm just adding trim and detail to it to give it that extra oomph, and also to tie it in with the outfit that the Ori baby has on. You know, the Ori baby outfit is pretty much gold and white, where the jacket's pretty much blue and silver, so I want to tie it together. And I love how this is coming together. I love how two things that shouldn't match makes it work and give it that gaudy old school feel. I want to say Victorian. That may not be the exact era. But y'all know what I mean, the era I was going for with this jacket and everything. And I'm about to get the hiccups. Ooh, that ain't nothing nice. So here I am again adding just more details to the coat, you know, to make it a little more wintry, to put it all together. At this point, I still haven't put the hood on yet. Um, I think the sleeves are attached. The sleeves should be attached. Yeah, the sleeves are attached. And I'm just really just adding detail to make it more wintry. You know, when it comes to details, I will go overboard on a dial in a minute. So it's happening, folks. It's going down. And here is the finished Ori Baby, my Ori Baby Christmas tree topper. Yes, there are many glue strands that I can see that need to be removed, and I will do that. They're going one of those glue strands I'm talking about right now. But if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment, and also subscribe. Happy holidays all. Many blessings until the next video.